Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of SuperCast. With me today is someone you may know, but you can't see, but that's alright. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Rev Brown.
Hey dude, it's good to hear you.
So, you have been known as many characters throughout your careers.
Absolutely.
Like, what stands out in my mind, which is one of my favorite roles that you have done, is your Hunter from the Future.
Okay, that was something that I did back in the 80s. It was supposed to be a mini-series. It was 6 months in Turkey, and they named the country properly. It was very physical. It was... I went from 230 pounds to about 205 from being sick with various amoebas and everything. In fact, one time I ended up in the hospital and I was dehydrated and they're giving me IV before I go out to work. I said, call my wife, I think I'm going to die.
Oh, jeez.
It was an amazing experience, though, because I was working with an Italian and a Turkish crew. So you hear people speaking in Italian and then in Turkish, and then I'd be speaking English. And then when you do a scene, you'd have people that were French, Italian, and Turkish. And I'm supposed to make believe that they're saying what they're supposed to say. And it worked out. It was fun. Yeah. And I mean, I was all over that country. We spent a lot of time there. I did a lot of stuff. It was very hard work, but and I was afraid I was going to come back and smell like a lamb because I ate so much of it.
So, how many days did it take to complete the movie?
6 months. It was 5 months in Turkey and a month in Rome.
Really? 6 months?
Yeah. Which is because it was a mini-series. It was a 6-part mini-series that they had there, and it was and then they just made it into a movie. It was a lot smaller. The movie was like an hour and a half or so, but the mini-series was like 6 hours. Mm-hmm. So we filmed all over that place. I mean, I was...
Attention vendors, we're going to get ready to open the doors shortly, so make sure you're ready.
I filmed in a place called Cappadocia, and that's where St. Paul walked. And I think he was the last guy there.
So I'm wondering about the place where all the computers was at. Was that an actual place in Turkey?
Yeah, they put it together there, and then they had the they put me on that slab, and they had the glass case that went over me, and they were going to do stuff to me and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I remember that Corinne Cleary was claustrophobic, so they couldn't put the case over her. And I didn't realize till later that I was claustrophobic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They put all that stuff in they did that stuff. We were actually filming some of the times when I'm wandering around. There's light snow on the ground. Yeah. So I was, I had never been cold in my life until that time. But I remember going home at night and getting into a bathtub and soaking for hours just to try and warm up my bones again. They just creaked. Because Turkey's close to Russia.
Yeah.
Across the way. And the people were lovely there. I got along with them very well. We had an interpreter. His name was Ishmael. We called him Smile. Mm-hmm. And I had a thing happen to me in the bazaar. I'm walking along, and all of a sudden this guy comes up to me. Very strange looking dude. He looked like Osama bin Laden.
Oh, really?
Grabs me by the arm, and I asked Smile, I said, Smile, what is it? He says, he likes you a lot.
Oh, man.
So we're walking along, and I think, the next thing, Smile turns around, the guy's gone. I said, what happened? I got rid of him. Bam! I hooked him in the back of the bazaar and walked away. He says, why'd you do that? I says, I didn't like him. It was interesting, though. It was a completely different type of country. You had the European on one side and then the Islamic on the other. And it was the hardest thing for me to try and find a place to work out because they just didn't have the equipment. Mm-hmm. They had the dumbbells with the balls on them. They had the dumbbells with the great big round balls, and you had that. And I asked for a bicycle to exercise. I'm trying to get some cardiovascular.
Oh yeah.
So what they did.
When I was
is they got this thing and they put a bike on this rack, and they said, look, Brett, we found out how to do it. And they had this guy riding this thing, and the thing fell out and went into the pool.
Oh man,
It was interesting.
That's fantastic. I was a huge fan. It's like, as I told you before, the first time that I found out about Yours World was when one of the reviewers that I follow made a review on it. I was like, my God, man, this movie is beyond words. He played the epic scene where you're gliding on the bat.
Oh yeah, that was a trip. And you know, the thing is that those were real bats in there. Those were real bats inside of that cave. And if they told you, they said, by all means, if one of them gets in your hair, do not touch it because you have to cut it loose. Actually, cut it out of your hair. But you're in that thing, and those caves went from there 20 miles. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what they went right through, like to the Sultan's palace. Okay, but in that cave. I mean, and I was on that thing, and I come down. He said, "Rev, can you do it?" Yeah, no problem. So I get up there, and I'm coming down this thing. I'm supposed to kick this guy, so I go to kick this guy, and I missed. And I hit him in the chest, and he flew about 30 feet. But they were impressed. Yeah, and then I had stunt scenes with some of the guys. They got some bodybuilders that they had. And my axe was made out of wood, and all the axes were made out of wood. And we had these stunt scenes, and they just get somebody off the street. Oh, he can do it. And they get these guys out there and they get whacked. I got whacked in the mouth one time, and once again the director says, "Did we get the shot?" My mouth going like this. Okay, you guys ever seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the scene in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid when he says to Richard Kiel, he says, "First of all, there's no rules," and then he kicks him, you know where?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a guy that was in the Turkish movie with us. He was about 6'8", weighed 280 pounds, and they gave him a rubber club, okay? Mm-hmm. And he was going around knocking people out. Okay, knocking them out. And isn't he magnificent? He's wonderful. And my wife says, you gotta get rid of him. So we had a big fight scene, and I did my Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. The next day he comes back and he says, "Kaput, kaput." I took him out.
Nice.
Had to. He told my wife, he says, "After the movie, I killed him."
So, one last thing before we get going. Can you give us any insight on your future endeavors?
Yeah, I'm kind of like semi-retired. People call me up though all the time and ask me to do stuff, and sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But the thing is now is that physically I can't do what I used to do because I'm older. But if something's interesting and fun, I'll do it. Like there's a thing I did in Alabama called Night Claws. That is, it went straight to video, but it was cool. It was different, and it's got it's about Bigfoot. And I play a sheriff in it, and it'll be out on Amazon in December. But it's kind of fun. It's different roles. It's kind of cool, and I look forward to doing it. And if people call me up and there's something interesting and they'll pay me reasonably, then I'll do it. I'm not going to do anything for nothing.
Yep.
I've done it in my life, and I've been all over the world, so there's no sense in it for me to do that. That's it.
Thank you so much for your time.
God bless you guys. You have a wonderful day.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.